Hello everyone, this is Vic with another video talking about the Halloween franchise. Today I'm going to be comparing Halloween 4 Michael Myers with Halloween 5 Michael Myers. Now we all know these are the first two opening chapters to what would become to be called the Thorn trilogy, the very polarizing Thorn trilogy. A lot of us are huge fans, a lot of us never want to hear about the Curse of Thorn again, but all that said, we have to talk about Michael Myers in these two entries. Again, very polarizing reactions to both performances, both interpretations of the characters. So I want to go through them, compare and contrast, and also answer the question, who would win an all-out battle, Halloween 4 Michael versus Halloween 5 Michael? Okay, let's get to it. Now, Halloween 4 came about 6 years after Halloween 3. If you recall, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, great movie, but did not do great at the box office. They wanted to bring back Michael, as Mustafa Akkad felt like Michael is the franchise. We can't continue the franchise without Michael Myers, so let's throw this anthology idea in the trash, and let's pick up 10 years later from the events of Halloween 2, Michael Myers, who, as we all know, did sort of burn alive or burn to death at the end of Halloween 2, along with Dr. Loomis exploding in a bathroom in the hospital. At least that's what we saw, that's what we understood, but that's not what happened. Halloween 4 tells us that Loomis is alive, has some scars, some burn tissues, but no, he didn't explode into pieces like what you think would happen, seeing what happened at the end of Halloween 2. And Michael Myers, call it amazing healing powers, call it evil never dies, but he's still alive, in a coma, in the hospital, at the beginning of Halloween 4. So, picking up with that scenario, let's talk about Michael Myers for a second. Why has he been in a coma for 10 years? Why is he just waking up now? What's going on? Well, we know Michael Myers has the motivation to kill his sister, Laurie Strode. That's what he's trying to do both in Halloween and Halloween 2. Now, Halloween 4, I have to wonder, Michael Myers, when he wakes up from his coma, is he aware that Laurie Strode is dead? Of course, in this canon, Laurie Strode has passed away. But does Michael know this? And does he have some kind of mind control thing where he sees that Laurie's dead and now immediately moves on to going after her niece, Jamie Lloyd? I don't know. There's not too many questions given about Michael's context or mindset on, hey, what happened to Laurie? Oh, she's dead. Let me go after the niece. I mean, I guess we could say that Michael does have some kind of psychic connection to his family members, so he can see that Laurie is clearly dead mentally. He can feel it, see it, something. Bottom line is after Jamie Lloyd, he's coming back to Haddonfield. Now let's talk about Michael, the actor playing Michael Myers, played by George Wilbur, who would also return later on to play Michael again in certain parts of Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. But how does he compare to Halloween 1, Halloween 2 Michael? Well, I would say George Wilbur in Halloween 4, he seems a little bit taller and he seems a little bit bulkier than the Michael we've come to know in Halloween and Halloween 2, which is perfectly fine. He was in a coma, but maybe they were feeding him protein shakes at the wazoo in the hospital, and Michael has gained weight. The coma's done him good. He's bulked up. He's been on that 10-year coma plan to get stronger. So Michael's come out the hospital as strong as ever. The look. Well, Halloween 4 has a couple different looks, so let's address the initial first thing we see of Michael in the first 20, 30 minutes or so, and that is the bandage look, the popular bandage look. This is the equivalent of Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th Part 2 wearing a knapsack over his head, the old potato sack Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2. This is kind of what we're getting here with Michael Myers with the bandage. But, curiously, in recent years, if you check online, check the Halloween Reddit, check Halloween Facebooks, Halloween fans have come to embrace the bandage look. There's even been suggestions that, hey, Michael should have been bandaged like this the entire movie. And I say, what are you guys thinking? This would not have worked for an entire movie. I mean, it's okay. It looks all right, but it wouldn't be Michael Myers. It would be just random hospital patient escapes from the hospital. It could be any movie then. You want to be Michael Myers, the Michael Myers we know and love. You want to be the iconic part of the franchise. You have to have the mask. So it just isn't original. It just isn't Michael Myers. It would feel like a totally different movie. So I'm glad that Michael once again does break into a mask store, toy store, whatever you want to call it, getting the same Michael Myers, maybe William Shatner mask, although no, I mean, definitely in this case, it's not Michael Myers mask, as apparently that mask is very popular in Haddonfield. Everybody's going to have this stupid mask. But the mask that Michael gets in Halloween 4, it's not quite the same as the mask from Halloween and Halloween 2. This would begin a tradition for Halloween sequels to usually not get the mask quite right. Everybody yearns for, hey, why can't you just make it look like how you looked in the original Halloween, which was just a William Shatner mask, spray painted a certain way, done, really just more for budgetary reasons. It wasn't like anything special, like thought design was in that mask. It was just like what they had and what they could use, but they just never seem to get that right in the sequels, and I do wonder why. But the mask here, I mean, listen, how can you describe it? Well, I don't know. It just looks weird. It makes Michael look like an alien from a different planet. So, not a huge fan of the mask. In terms of the padded shoulders look, Michael does look like his shoulders are a little bit padded. He has the opposite of a hunchback. He has very padded up shoulders that make him look like not that he's going to take out Jamie Lloyd, but that he's going to try out for an NFL football team. Maybe Michael as a kid wanted to be a football player out of the coma. He's actually not here to attack family members. He's here to prepare for training camp. Probably not. But I don't know. Michael's look here is a little bit off-putting. Now, as many may know, I'm the biggest fan of Halloween 4 of anybody on YouTube, online. I literally call it the best sequel in the entire franchise. My favorite sequel, but that said, Michael Myers is not a strong suit, not a strong point, not a strength of Halloween 4. Michael Myers in Halloween 4 is a weakness. Now, look, I mean, the look doesn't mean everything. I mean, you can have a bad look, but still a great interpretation of the character. Let's talk about how the character thinks, how he moves, how effective he is in Halloween 4. Well, he still does have some great stalker tendencies. Most of the middle part of the movie is Michael kind of hiding in the background, hiding in the shadows. Shout out to Dwight Little, his directing. There was some solid scenes of Michael in the shadows in the background. The problem is whenever you have a close with Michael, he just looks ridiculous. So anytime you have to focus in on Michael, like when he's walking up the stairs to go after Brady, it just looks silly. When the car is driving away in the middle of the road and they look back and you see Michael, that close up, again, just his shape, his form, the shape looks silly, just off. I don't know what it is, but now in terms of Michael himself, the character, let's talk about how powerful he is in Halloween 4. In terms of kills, well, he is still pretty much a badass in Halloween 4. When he wakens in the hospital, think about this in the ambulance when he wakens, he puts a damn thumb through the paramedic's head. I mean, of all the crazy death scenes I've seen, putting a thumb through someone's head, that's sheer raw power. Michael Myers is super powerful. Again, the 10-year coma diet has done his strength well. Stabbing someone with a shotgun, that's pretty crazy. The whole death with him and Brady, although, again, Brady's an idiot for doing that fight. I mean, you hit Michael once, nothing happens. Get up the stairs with Rachel and Jamie. Why are you still trying to fight Michael? He's letting you get away. He gives you a clear path to get away. But here's Brady still trying to take out Michael. Unfortunately, dies a not well-deserved death, because I did like Brady here at the end. But come on, Brady, you could have done more than that. Okay. So you got that. You got Michael taking out the entire mob. Much more effective against the mob than a certain Michael Myers from Halloween Kills was. A certain mob in Halloween Kills who promised that evil would die tonight and did not live up to that promise at all. Let me just mention that. So Michael is a badass here. I mean, the death scenes are solid. Michael's stalking is solid. He's definitely a very cunning person. He cuts the power, you know. He does a great job of infiltrating Sheriff Meeker's house. So yeah, I have no more problems about Michael's effectiveness as a killer here. He definitely gets the job done. Definitely by Halloween 4, they want to take it more in a traditional slasher route. Not too many death scenes in Halloween 4, though. It's not like a death scene every 2 minutes type of movie. There's a lot of focus on the characters, which again makes it a great sequel. But you probably have to give Michael kind of a C- overall in Halloween 4. Is it the worst interpretation of Michael? No, I don't think so. I still probably like it better than H2O and Resurrection, but it is a weird sort of off-putting version of Michael, though. I mean, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't really bring the movie down too much because the movie has a lot going for it beyond that. But not that to high on Halloween 4, Michael, let me just say. Okay, but let's move on then. Let's talk about Halloween 5, because Halloween 5 is a year later. Some would say rushed into production based on the somewhat overrated success of Halloween 4. It made about $17 million at the box office, but growing up hearing the thoughts, you would think there was like a $50 million box office for Halloween 4, but it wasn't that successful. It made 17 million at the box office. Halloween 3 made 14 million. Halloween 4 was slightly more successful than Halloween 3. But that said, it was enough for Mustafa Akkad to be like, hey, let's get a movie out a year later, 1989, Halloween 5. Now, Friday the 13th is an example of a series where they didn't generally bring back the same Jason. So Halloween here is going to take the kind of the same route. You have now Halloween 5 will be the fourth actor, the fourth different actor to play Michael Myers. 4 appearances, 4 different actors. You do wonder how the franchise would be if you had one consistent person playing Michael Myers. It might be kind of cool if Nick Castle stuck it out or Dick Warlock stuck it out. George Wilbur being replaced. I don't know if he was replaced. Maybe they just felt like they could hire someone else for cheap in Halloween 5. I mean, George Wilbur would come back for Halloween 6. But I'm okay with it. Don Shanks, who actually grew up in Illinois and said himself he'd be about the same age as Michael Myers. I think he's a wonderful addition to Michael Myers. And now this is going to surprise people because I do have Halloween 4 way higher ranked than Halloween 5. But man, if you watch his movies back to back and really study Michael Myers, I really do think that Michael Myers in Halloween 5 is way more effective in almost every conceivable way than Halloween 4 Michael. Let's start with the look. Now, all right, if Halloween 4 Michael looked kind of silly, Halloween 5 Michael, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's a return to form from Halloween or Halloween 2. He has the long overneck thing going on with the mask, which it does look kind of strange. Again, I'm glad they did something different from Halloween 4, but the long neck, I mean, I don't know. It's not a good look either. Now, actually, Don Shank had talked to the director of Halloween 5, who actually told him, though, that he wanted a different performance out of him. He wanted a different Michael Myers from part 4. So the director of Halloween 5, I guess, had seen Halloween 4 and said, hey, listen, whatever that was, let's do something different with Michael. And they certainly will do something different here. Michael Myers is much more cerebral in this movie. When we think about where his headspace is, he's been not in a coma well, I guess he was in a coma for a year. So returned back to a coma based on being shot to shit at the end of part 4, floating down a river, saved by a mysteriously random hermit who for some reason didn't know that the surrounding town Haddonfield had a famous mass killer named Michael Myers, sees mass killer there in his front yard, decides to take him in and nurse him back to health over an entire year like a complete idiot, and to nobody in the audience's surprise, when Michael Myers wakes up, immediately kills said hermit. Oh, what a maroon. But Michael's mindset, he's like, hey man, I've been in a coma for a year. I've waken up, just like I woke up in Halloween 4, and I sense that Jamie Lloyd is still out there, so I'm going to come back for her again. I wonder if it would have made sense if in Halloween 4 they showed Michael just find a picture of Laurie Strode or an article or something that made us think that he knew that Laurie Strode was dead. It's okay, it's just a weird pet peeve. But, okay, so Michael in Halloween 5 you would think is like actually even more pissed off and determined to go after Jamie Lloyd, but the contrast to Halloween and Halloween 2 was that in Halloween 2, after getting shot 6 times, Michael was a much more aggressive and forceful personality in Halloween 2. And this was not the same thing here. Michael in Halloween 5 is a return to patient, cerebral Michael from Halloween 1. This is the most patient we've seen Michael since Halloween 1. I don't know if being in that coma for a year just exhausted him or what, but we get a lot more of stalking Michael scenes. The whole sequence with Rachel, he's very patient, has opportunities to go after her, but rides that out. Great stalking scenes when Tina and her friend are in the yard and you see Michael in the background just kind of hunching by the trees, hiding in the background, biding his time. Michael doing the creepy thing of wearing the other Halloween mask, picking up Tina and just driving around the car. Again, this is the most patient Michael. He has opportunities to just pounce on his prey, but he's just like kind of enjoying the stalking in this movie. Like, I mean, to be honest, I don't know if a lot of this makes sense though. I mean, he's supposed to be going after Jamie Lloyd, but he really does focus on Tina and her friends maybe a little bit too much. Maybe he's still trying to have his cake and eat it too by getting in some kills on the way to getting Tina. But even when he knows where Tina's at, he still sort of seems to focus on, or even when he knows that where Jamie Lloyd as he still seems to focus on Tina and her friends. But that said, stalking scenes. Let's talk about the power of Michael. Then let's talk about the kills. I think Halloween 5, believe it or not, has some fantastic kills. I mean, who can forget Tina's boyfriend Mikey? Old Mikey, you know, don't mess with his car unless you have any Michael Myers. Then you can mess with his car, give him a flat tire, scratch his car, do whatever the hell you want. But Mikey didn't like that. Goes up to Michael, and who can forget trick or treat? I mean, come on. That's actually I'll go back on YouTube sometimes just watch that specific thing. It just makes me laugh. Trick or treat! Like that's just hilarious to me. What else do we have here? We have Michael causing havoc with a pitchfork. Again, pretty solid death scene. Michael pulling up behind a police officer and showing police brutality towards the officer. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. This scene actually made me laugh, so not gonna lie. So actually, pretty solid deaths here. Michael is stalking in the first half. In the second half, he goes balls to the wall in terms of just like taking out people, everybody. Michael, the cornfield chase, you know, trying to kill young Billy, trying to kill young Jamie Lloyd by running them over. Pretty intense stuff. And also, Michael having the cat and mouse chase with Loomis. A lot more Loomis Michael interaction here in Halloween 5 than a lot of people seem to think, it feels like. And it's all pretty good stuff here. So I don't know. Michael, I mean, there's one obvious thing we have to address. The crying elephant in the room. Michael Myers having a tear come down his face. Nobody likes that. Everybody feels like the embodiment of pure evil should never shed a tear, should not be showing that level of human emotion. We don't like that for the most part. I don't mind it. Listen, it's Halloween 5. It's the fifth sequel in a franchise. They're trying to do something different. Doesn't mean they're trying to completely change Michael's character, but trying to give him like something different here. He's mentally he's mentally connecting with Jamie Lloyd, vibing with her. She's asking him to see the face and the tears coming down. It all sort of makes sense in the context of the bigger Thorn trilogy. If you think about later on the idea that maybe the Thorn is controlling Michael, he's a slave to this curse, then maybe when Jamie tries to connect with him, that brings out the real innocent Michael. Okay, it sounds stupid as I'm saying it, so we don't like the crying Michael scene at all. But outside of that, for the rest of the movie, he's pretty much a badass, great stalking scenes. Yes, I would change the look of Michael, though, no question. I would take the mask off in terms of the long overneck mask and just give him a regular length mask. But I do think Don Shanks does a better job with the movements, the look. It more closely resembles the performance of Nick Castle in Halloween 1, in my opinion. And I'll even say that Halloween 4 would be a big-time improvement if they had Halloween 5 Michael in Halloween 4. If you keep everything else, keep the Halloween 4 script, keep the director Dwight Little, keep all the characters, but just replace Halloween 4 Michael with Halloween 5 Michael, I think Halloween 4, which is already my favorite sequel, becomes by far my favorite sequel, but also other people may put it as their favorite sequel as well. Halloween 5 has a pretty good Michael. It's just sort of let down by a lot of the script, most specifically the stupid Men in Black thing coming at the end, the insertion of Men in Black in the storyline with no payoff. It's just pretty unforgivable. Also, that stupid hermit taking in Michael just doesn't make sense. Okay, now on to more important matters. Who would win an all-out fight between Halloween 4 Michael, Halloween 5 Michael? Who is coming out the room if they meet? Well, based on what I've been talking about so far, it's going to come to no surprise to most of you. I'm going with Halloween 5 Michael to take out Halloween 4 Michael. Don Shanks taking out George Wilbur. Halloween 5 Michael, okay, listen, Halloween 4 Michael is no pushover, so he's going to try to do the thumb through the head of Halloween 5 Michael, and Halloween 5 Michael is going to be like, oh, well, this is a challenge to me. None of this trick or treat bullshit, but I mean, I just think Halloween 5 Michael, absence of Halloween 4 Michael hitting him with tranquilizers and beat him down with a pipe, I think Halloween 5 Michael takes the edge over Halloween 4 Michael and All Out War. Speaking of that also, I do want to mention each character in terms of who had the weaker death. In Halloween 4, Michael is shot to shit by an entire police department, flies into a cemetery casket, whatever that was. He does get a better death scene than Halloween 5 because Halloween 5 doesn't have a death scene. It has Michael being tranquilized, taken to jail where he's playing with his cuffs and just chilling. Not a good look for Michael. So I will say that Halloween 4 does have a better ending for the Michael Myers character than Halloween 5. Listen, I'm not going to be doing this kind of video for Halloween 6 per se, but I would just throw Halloween 6 in there since it's part of the trilogy. Halloween 6 Michael wipes the floor with Halloween 4 Michael and Halloween 5 Michael. Halloween 6 Michael, return of George Wilbur, and there's one other actor played him as well at the end of Halloween 6. I'm forgetting his name, but Halloween 6 Michael. Now this is Michael basically 5-6 years later after the events of Halloween 5, and it looks like the final form Michael. This is everything that Loomis envisioned Michael to be at his most purest peak form of evil is Halloween 6 Michael. The way he moves, his bulk. He's been out there now, not in a coma. Now he's doing a regular bulking diet, protein shakes every day. Michael is huge in Halloween 6. He's willing to run after you if he's chasing you down the hall. Crazy looking hair, awesome looking mask. Just the perfect interpretation of Michael Myers in Halloween 6. Both Halloween 4 and Halloween 5 would be improved if you just had Halloween 6 Michael in those movies. So let's throw Halloween 6 Michael in that room also. And Halloween 6 Michael wipes the floor with both Halloween 4 Michael and Halloween 5 Michael. I mean, Michael in Halloween 6 is just like, you have the same amazing stalking scenes. The death seems but the death seems to be very cruel and aggressive in a way that I don't see in Halloween 4 and Halloween 5. That whole hospital room massacre in Halloween 6, I would say, is probably the most brutal thing we've seen Michael do in the Thorn trilogy. I mean, Michael took out a police station in Halloween 4. We don't actually get to see it. So this is kind of more in our face. We see it here. So Halloween 6 Michael, by far, Crystal Michael Myers, is the best version in the Thorn trilogy of Michael Myers. He comes out of the room. He probably could beat Halloween 4 and Halloween 5 Michael if it was 2-on-1, both of them surrounding him. They know their job is to kill Halloween 6 Michael as if he's Laurie Strode or Jamie Lloyd. I still think Curse Michael comes out ahead. All right, anyways, these are my thoughts on Halloween 4 Michael versus Halloween 5 Michael versus Halloween 6 Michael. Thorn trilogy Michael, even though there's some huge weak spots here, I'm a huge sucker and fan of the Thorn trilogy, so I'll always defend it. Of these three interpretations, which was your favorite Michael? Halloween 4 Michael, Halloween 5 Michael, Halloween 6 Michael? Which do you prefer, and who do you think would win in a fight? And also, if you like this video, please subscribe. Next up, we'll do Halloween H2O Michael versus Halloween Resurrection Michael. Until next time, you guys take care.